So this is going to be a Defection 5 tutorial. The first thing you wanna look at is your control style. You can choose between 1.2 and 1.4 ideally. Personally I used 1.2 for my 5, but I heard the Carl Elo were using 1.4 because you can duck and unduck using the C button rather than the R button, so you don't have to like stretch as much. It's probably going to be easier to use that. 1.2 still works obviously, but you probably want to use 1.4 for this. So the next choice is between using the back strafing method and doing the glitch, or forward strafing. And I'm fairly certain that the back strafe method is the best method. It's definitely more consistent, it's definitely easier, and as far as I can tell, it is just as fast. And the main reason I think for choosing this is the starting angle. Like, you're gonna go at a slight angle like that, and from here you're gonna have a really good angle to do a back strafe. Like, it's gonna be perfect. If you're trying to do the forward method, you need to turn in mid-air and stuff, and it's just much more inconsistent, much more difficult to pull off. And also, the fastest method to get off the platform is obviously to just go 90 degrees like that. And if you do that, you're not gonna be above the door, so you need to turn a bit to the left in mid-air in order to get there. And that's gonna put you in a perfect angle again, maybe an even better angle to do the back strafe method. And you can't really do the forward strafing if you're in that situation. If you're forward strafing, you have to go like in a half second the other way, and that's gonna take it's gonna take longer for you to walk off the platform. If you do that, it's gonna lose some time. So yeah, use the back strafe method. Looking at the decimals when you reach the beam outside the building, like that's the most important, what do you call it? It's the most important time to look at. You want to be at roughly sub 4 at least when you fall past the beam there, and you can get that with both methods. So yeah, back strafe is a good choice. The next thing, obviously you want to duck twice in mid-air while falling, and then you just want to strafe into the wall like that. You need to have a really good position, like you need to be really close to the wall in order to make it. So your angle as you run off here, it's very important. You want to be right side, right in the corner here. You don't want to be above the door, because you can never get in here. Like, it goes in a bit here, so it's much harder to make it there. So you want to be right in this corner, as far into the corner as possible, pretty much. Also, I think the collision here, like you can, the opening is a bit lower here than it is above the door. So as much into the corner as possible. So you don't want to be like that, you want to be there, well, without getting stuck on the roof. Right there, and just double duck and straight into the wall. So now for the most important part here. Once you get into the wall, you want to start forward strafing like really early, just so you just barely make it past the corner. Let's see, I think I have a good save state here. It's easier to show this off with the forward strafing method, but the principle is the same for both forward and backwards. You want to turn, we want to hug this corner kind of as closely as possible and unduck as soon as possible. Let's say you go like that, like into the blackness a bit. Like, it's gonna lose you some time. It's gonna be much harder to make it out. I made it that time, but the chances of you falling into the cheese room is gonna be much higher. So I'm gonna show you the correct method to do this. So you wanna hug the wall as close as possible here, so you just barely make it past it. You see, I unlocked really early, and I managed to stand up fully almost immediately. So that's like that. If you manage to do it, you're gonna make it outside every time. You're gonna get fast fall every time. So that's definitely the best method to do it. Hug the wall, turn early. That was too late. That was too early. Like that. Like you can easily tell when it works. Like that. Yeah, like that. So yeah, it's the same principle when you're using back strafing. You also want to turn from back strafing to forward strafing as soon as possible. So just barely make it past the corner and then stand up almost immediately. So you just want to rapidly press the R button or C button or whatever to unlock as soon as possible. So yeah, once you're outside of the building, you don't want to look at your timer during a run, but you can look at it afterwards and make sure that your decimal is below, or a flat 4 or below 4 when you fall past this beam right here. You can see right now it's 3.98, so that's on pace for 5, pretty much. If you're a few times below 4, like that's a really good pace. So yeah. So once you're outside, you just wanna turn as soon as possible, I guess, and get as far as possible. I'm not sure how much it matters actually, but yeah, just do that. So with the previous strats, the difficult part with this level was to make it into the elevator, because usually what happens is, let's see if we can show it off here. If I just turn like that, oh, I actually made it, okay, cool. Yeah, you either die or... yeah. I wanna show getting stuck in the wall there. I think the problem is that I'm having way too much height here in the beginning. But yeah, you can see like that, I got stuck in the wall a bit. That's gonna happen a lot if you're using these old methods. It's gonna be really difficult to make it into the elevator. I think what you need to do here is to be able to have a perfect angle, like hit the corner or something. I'm not really sure how it works. I don't think I ever made it in a real run to the elevator with this strat. You kinda needed a pause and stuff also to make it in a good way into the elevator without losing too much time. So it's very inconsistent doing it that way. So the new strat that I found was that if you look up here, you're gonna, I think, unload the basement. So you're not gonna get stuck on the walls anymore, and you're gonna be able to make it all the way to the elevator pretty much every time. See there, I made it to the elevator. I didn't get into the elevator, but I made it there at least. I think that's the big part with this strat. So you're gonna make it further every time if you do this. You don't have to look that far up, but like at least 0 degrees or higher. So when you're doing this strat, you can make it to the elevator. Not really that often, but maybe, I don't know, 1 in 10, 1 in 15. I actually made it that time. But I think it's gonna be harder, like, on console. You're not gonna have as much height as I have right now when playing on emulator. I have a pretty good setup here. So yeah, I think what I used to do here, before I found the next strat that I'm gonna explain soon, was that I turned really far left here. Like I turned, so I'm going almost 90 degrees here. So I wasn't really on track for the elevator, but rather I turned really far left and then I turned back right again. Oh, I actually made it. But yeah, that method seemed to be the best way to make it to the elevator. But then I found that it seems that you can make it even easier if you let go of speed just before. Oh, I actually made it. So at that time I actually let go of speed just before I reached the elevator. So here I've saved it where I'm running straight to the elevator. So you want to look up and then you want to just let go of speed at mid 5 roughly, mid high, maybe 0.6, 0.7 or something. So if I just continue running here and looking down, you see I'm gonna die here. It's gonna be really difficult to make it into the elevator. I actually made it that time. But I have a really good height right now. It's not gonna be, you're not really gonna have that on console. So if I look up here, I actually make it. But it's not guaranteed. Like I have a really good setup, as I said already. I have a good setup on this save state. But in a real run, you're not gonna make it very often. So what you wanna do, look up and then just let go on the buttons. Let go strafe completely and just fall the very last bit. You're gonna have a really good chance to make it into the elevator. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm not sure how low this can go, really. I got at 6.10 with the railing. I'm not sure how much the railing loses. I heard like 0.7 or something, but I'm not sure. So, I mean, Cedric got 5.61, so maybe 5.4 or something is where it maxes out. I'm not sure. So I got my 5 like really quickly after I started using this letting over speed strat, and I got a 5.96 like a few minutes before that. So I think in total it took like less than an hour to get it. I think like half an hour when I started using this strat. But then I obviously had already grinded like the level for a couple of days before that, so I already knew the technique for the beginning and all the stuff. But yeah, this should be a really easy record for most people, I think. So yeah, good luck.